Game resumed.
All right, guys, and welcome back to CSL March Madness. We are in our second match of the night between UC Berkeley and UMCP. Spawning here in the bottom right, down 0-2, is going to be the UMCP team. Sunshine, our purple Zerg, and Sky, excuse me, this is UC Berkeley, and Sky, our teal Terran player. So they are up 2-0. And if they win this 2v2, they will seal it up. Spawning here in the middle left position is going to be the blue Terran player, the Happy Nun, and his teammate, Barcode, spawning in the very top left position as our Protoss and Terran player for UMCP. So this is going to be a 2v2. Once again, TP versus TZ. And Ferg, I've been enjoying watching some 2v2 in HOTS, man.
Yeah, I mean, of course, there's different, mechanics. You can do some nifty things. Of course, you can build those, creep tumors on the ramp. You can warp in on the ramp. Definitely helpful in 2v2 situations because you have a little bit more flexibility with how you lay out your base. Right now, it looks like this is going to be a pretty laid-back game. Nothing crazy. No proxies yet.
Nothing too wild. We're just
going
to
to
keep it.
2 minutes in, so we'll see.
Gonna keep it, relatively chill here. The 2v2 team of UMCP ended up practicing pretty heavily for this matchup. So we'll have to see, how well they end up performing against UC Berkeley's 2v2 in this case.
Yeah, and of course, UC Berkeley's 2v2 team, they were not so good in Season 5, so for Azubu Collegiate Champions, they started practicing hard, hitting the ladder. They got all the way up to GM. They were actually in, I think, like the top 5. They might have been the best in the nation for a while, but they definitely worked on getting better, and it definitely showed. I mean, UC Berkeley, they won Azubu Collegiate Champions, so I'm excited to see how they do today. Right now, it looks like Sunshine going to do a little fast expand down to that ramp. Of course, Zerg players, if you have a teammate, you're going to want to focus your defense in this main shared ramp. But in a TP matchup, you can kind of hold off yourself, kind of build armies in your mains, and then join them up and attack together, defend together, that kind of stuff. Of course, shoutouts to our sponsors, NCIX and Raid Call. We're talking right now about barcodes, I believe, in the Raid Call group, so come join us. It's group 1111 or Collegiate Star League. You can find us if you search. It's pretty darn easy. And of course, shoutouts to all of our viewers today, because this is absolutely outstanding right here in the round of 4. I'm excited to see where we go in future qualifiers. Of course, we'll be back next week. But tomorrow we have a Community King of the Hill. So find out. I'm sure that'll be posted on Reddit and Team Liquid, so you can find out. You can come play live. We'll be casting the games live tomorrow. It all starts at 5 p.m., so come and show up. And last but not least, while this Reaper tries to do some damage to Zerglings, it's trying so hard, man, and it's doing a very good job. Will it survive? I'm not sure. It looks like it's... Oh, man. It totally does. What a boss
totally
Reaper.
does.
And it's going to heal up now. But as I was saying, we're recruiting right now. We actually just got 2 new casters today, so I'm excited to see. Look for them in future weeks. We have Doom Esports and T. Gensilator. His name's hard to pronounce, but he's a very good caster who was with us in Season 5, so I'm excited to
And he's a good player, man.
And he's a good player. He's very good. But if you're looking to join the CSL, we're looking for writers, more casters, streamers. Anyone who really wants to get involved in esports and help out the college scene is welcome to join. Find out more at cstarleague.com. Right now, though, Sunshine and Sky.
I want you to peek into Barcode's base. Tell me what he's doing right now.
What? Oracle. Barcode, you sneaky Barcode, you sneaky Protoss player.
You sneaky Barcode. He's making oracles, and in 2v2, this is, I'm assuming, something that's relatively untested. The Oracle, of course, has a lot of utility, but, I mean, it's mostly for killing those light units, so workers are the obvious, but then, of course, they do decent against units like Marines and Zerglings as well. But you have to have that energy built up. The Oracle is now coming across the map, and in terms of defense, Sky, who is going to be hit by this Oracle, currently has nothing. He has his bio out in the natural, so this definitely could do some damage.
Looks like it's getting scouted right now by Sunshine's Overlord, but he is not reacting fast enough. And this Oracle's
there
on
we
a
go.
mission.
He does react. He does react. Here comes the Oracle.
Oh, but one kill. It only gets one. It's running into the Marines. It's got to run away.
It does, and it's better to play it safe with that Oracle than to try and pick off that extra SCV or two, because it's such an expensive unit, and it can be utilized later on in the game. It's not like if you don't do damage now, you'll never do damage with it. You can kind of keep it around, and he actually made a second Oracle, so heavily committing to these lovely little globes just kind of floating around the map.
They're so pretty. They're like diamond. Oracles are forever, man.
Well, I mean, not quite. They're a little bit more delicate than a diamond, but...
Well,
look at this cute little party. It's a Medivac and an Oracle just flying together. It's like
Medivacs and Oracles together. This is actually really interesting.
Oh, and it's boosting away, man. He doesn't like that Oracle, man. He's trying to get away
how
from
mean. But the Oracle will be there to back up the DPS of this drop. There's only 6 Marines there, and they got to be careful. The Oracles do that bonus damage. And, but they don't want to die, Mr. Oracle.
Nice micro, actually, but it's not really
this is going to be...
Wow. They didn't really actually lose anything.
Very well defended by Sky. The Oracle almost died. The Medivac almost died. It had to boost out of there. Could have been much, much worse for the UMCP players, but right now it looks like the Happy Nun is just going to continue happily boosting around the map with his Medivacs right now. But very good scouting. I like all the lings spread out here by Sunshine. It's going to be able to scout this drop actually both drops very easily, as they come directly here in range of the Zergling. So what a hero Zergling. Of course, going to die to the drop, but not before scouting everything. And right now, you can see Sky reacting immediately. Going to try to catch these units. Overlord's scouting everything else. So very careful. You do not want to lose these over... Oh, man, Oracles.
Wow.
They're both in the red. They are tempting fate. Will they be Oracles for very long? This drop, though, is doing quite a bit of damage here. Looks like he'll run away playing it safe, losing a couple units. Sky's bio is really starting to add up, but where are the Medivacs to back it up? Still in production, it looks like, though upgrades are on the way.
Honestly, I have to commend Barcode's control of these Oracles. It's very tough to keep them, edging on that 0 health mark. I mean, they are very delicate, so he's done a great job. Yes, he hasn't done a whole lot of damage with them, but he has kept them alive, and that is definitely saying something. Now he can use Reveal coming into the mid-game and keep tabs on pretty much, all of the army, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him utilize Reveal. He actually is going to kill some Zerglings and start working down on this hatchery, and look at how fast that hatchery is actually going down. If he is left unanswered here, he will kill that hatchery, but here comes some Marines from Sky to clean that up, so Sunshine will be able to claim that hatchery. Behind this, we do see Barcode Protoss from UMCP getting Colossus out on the field, so that is going to be a very strong tech choice at this point in the game.
Oracles are kind of like a bad marriage. It just takes one wrong engagement to ruin your day.
Okay.
Engagement, like a marriage?
Yeah.
Oh,
but I mean, at that point, you're all... yeah, okay, I'll let that go.
So it looks like the UC Berkeley players are starting to move in. Lots of roaches streaming across the map. There are a lot of Marines here to defend. Not too many units. Is good stim right there. These Marines do not have combat shields. Some nice force fields coming out of Barcode. But this is going to be a careful dance. This is going to be
very nice force fields, actually. Yeah. I mean, they weren't super fancy, but they did exactly what they needed to do, and they didn't overlap. They just cut out a huge chunk of that army, was able to back up, not really lose anything, and now Colossus out on the field. All of a sudden, UMCP's 2v2 army is looking very strong, and UC Berkeley's is not looking too strong.
They have Colossi and Siege tanks. I mean, 4 Siege tanks pump out a lot of DPS. Colossi backup, that's even more a lot of DPS. And Sky and Sunshine are definitely going to have to bunker up right now. They do have the additional base, though. And that could be paying off. It was not mining for very long. The Oracle is still
big flank coming in from Sky and Sunshine, trying to take off that Colossus, and it looks like they're going to whittle down. Yes, that was actually a huge loss incurred. Now Happy Nun's tanks are very undefended, and all of a sudden what looked like a favorable position for UMCP is looking like a strong spot for UC Berkeley.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, the Stim Marines are doing a lot of damage to this Roaches. If they all fall, it could be in bad shape right now. Using these Stim Marines very, very smartly, going to try to pick off a lot of drones. He's then going to lift off and run away back home, but Sky is doing a lot of damage with the bio he has left to him. Man, I wish I could count right now because these supplies look fairly even. I'm going to give the lead to Berkeley right now. Looks like they're 20 supply ahead by my count, but anything can happen right now. Lots of Colossi coming out for Barcode, and this could start getting scary. I mean, the DPS potential for that Siege Tank Colossi combination is just so much, but right now Sunshine building a lot of Hydralisks, which I really like. You know, they have low health, but they can be healed by Medivacs. So crazy of 2v2.
Definitely not a bad idea here. I will say the one thing that UMCP has going for them very strongly right now is their tech. You know, if they continue to get the Siege Tank count back up, if they continue to get the Colossi count back up, I mean, Berkeley just doesn't have the answer to those units in mass. I mean, luckily they were able to catch those units out of position. Both the Siege Tanks and the Colossi were just in bad spots, and that was really unfortunate for UMCP, but I mean, if they're able to build it back up, anything can happen. Right now, the big story is the economy. I mean, Berkeley has these bases, and UMCP does not. Big drop in the main base of the Happy Nun. It looks like Sky is going to be shredding up that mineral line, taking out Marines right now. This is a very, very powerful drop, and it's going to disrupt the production of the Happy Nun. And yeah, this is definitely some rough business. A command center will go down, and I'm expecting a boost out afterwards. And there he goes. See you later. Oh! Gets sniped.
Just knock at the Orbital Commando. Look at these SCVs going back to repair oh so quickly, and the drop suddenly did much less damage than it could have. But this is actually getting crazy right now. 3-3, and you know what? Vipers are on the way for Sunshine. You know what, Chris? Have you ever abducted siege tanks into siege tanks?
I haven't done siege tankception yet, but that sounds very fun.
Yeah, or if you have ever vipered siege tanks into siege tanks, but then vipered your siege tanks back out of siege tanks, if you have a ZT-ZT combo, things could start getting crazy right now.
I see what you're saying. You can abduct ally units, yeah?
Yes, you can. I think you can abduct your own units and enemy units. I wouldn't see why they'd leave out your allies' units.
Right.
But,
no, it makes sense. I mean, Phoenix can obviously lift friendly units, which is also useful in like a very select few situations, but it does come into play, like you lift up an Immortal or something like that.
Yeah,
anyway, Hydralisks are now engaging the entire army, and I would have to say
doing so much damage.
Big advantage in that situation, just based off the unit composition. Planetary Fortress looks like it's gonna get taken out here, and that means the economy advantage of Berkeley just got whittled down to pretty much nothingness here.
Yeah, Sunshine is working off a lot more gas. He has a lot of Vipers, and he's trying to get their energy up. They were just out of position for that engagement, and the DPS for the Berkeley team is very high, but these Colossi and Siege Tanks are able to do a lot more damage from the back row.
So many Vipers and Blinding Clouds going down on all of that bio. Here comes Sunshine's Roach Hydra army. So look at so many Blinding Clouds on all the tanks, all the Colossi, all the bio. And this army is getting absolutely obliterated, and GG's just like that, Ferg. Wow, I don't even know what to say right now.
Blinding Cloud is awesome. That's what I'm going to say. It looked like he Blinding Clouded just about everything but his own units, and Sky, ran in with his Terran army and was just attacking from, one range, just running up to that Colossi and just kicking it in the knees. Doing whatever they could to get an advantage,
that was insane. So many Blinding Clouds, and that's gonna secure UC Berkeley's spot for the playoffs, man.
I'm excited, man, because UC Davis and UC Berkeley are through to the playoffs. Both teams, of course, my home state of California. Really excited to see them. Of course, roots in UC Davis, but really good stuff coming out from all four of these teams. Really. They really showed up this weekend, and I'm excited to see what happens this coming weekend. Of course, you can still sign up until Thursday at 11:59 p.m. if you're interested in getting your own school involved in CSL. Check out our website, cstarleague.com. Of course, big shout-out to our sponsors, NCIX and Raid Call. We're going to be in Group 1111 of Raid Call, talking to people during the break, and I believe we'll be back in a bit with an interview. We'll see if we can get that lined up, but we will be back at the very least to talk to you guys one last time here at the CSL March Madness.
Stay tuned, guys.